About 10 years later, everything was changing for the good. With the evil mankind Japan now leaderless, they had nothing to basically do, so they decided to take to the Hollow Earth as their new base. And Mega Legendary Godzilla and Mega Female Godzilla managed to keep parity under safe and close, heavily guarded. Survivors' siblings ended up growing up quite fast themselves. But at Lady Osmobitos' country, and on top of a large hill, it was basically looking over the entire village, laid a very large mansion. This mansion was Survivors Mikasa's new home. And not said their friends were living within the village. This mansion had everything for them. And not said they were parents of 8 kids. So Survivors Mikasa definitely had their hands full. But Survivors Mikasa's firstborn was Max Kruger. The future king of many monsters and king of all Godzillas. His younger siblings were Ultier, Jr., Super Godzilla Final Wars Jr., Dylan, Sam, Alexis, Derek, and Emily. They had their hands full. Super Farmers only had 2 brothers and 2 sisters. He basically had 6 siblings, counting his half-brother Kevin and his stepbrother and stepsister. But he had a total of 8 kids. It's right now. But luckily they had a few guards to help them and keep an eye on the young prince and princesses. Mikasa's hair was definitely longer than it was before. Her hair was so long it was actually covering her back. Even though she was basically wearing clothes. That was in the first place, anyways. Sir Faris taught his kids everything that they need to know when it comes to being the king and queen and the monsters. But Sir Faris was teaching those lessons mainly to Max, since he was the firstborn and Sir Faris chose him to be the next king. Sir Faris woke up early morning, seeing that his son was basically laying on top of his legs. "Hey, Dad." "Max, what are you doing? Mom wanted me to come get you to tell you that breakfast is ready." "Of course she did." Sir Farmer sighed. "Your mom basically has you to get me for everything." "That's not true." "Whatever, come on. Let's go before your mom ends up having a breakdown or something." "But first she wants you to help her chop some firewood." "I can just do that with this simple slice of my claws." I know that's what I told her, but still. Sir Flowers followed his son outside, where he saw that Mikasa was chopping up some firewood. She had a few main monster royal guards to help her carry some of the firewood inside. As king and queen, they of course needed some royal guards. Even though it should be the royal guard who should be getting some firewood, but still, she chose to get some firewood anyways. And just like that, within a couple of seconds, when Sir Flowers was awake, they instantly had all the firewood chopped up. Later, Mikasa was making some breakfast for her husband, and her eight sons, her 8 kids. At first, one kid seemed less of a challenge considering that she had Super Fireworks' help. A second kid, well, was not that much of a challenge either, but a third kid had proved to be a bit more difficult. Then a fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and then the eighth kid arrived. Super Fireworks and Mikasa decided only 8 kids were good enough, and was enough for the two. Even though Mikasa basically made it her decision to have as many kids as she wanted. And each of her sons and daughters had the marking that she has on her arm. Each of them had their own marking. After breakfast, Max and the others end up playing, except for Emily and Derek. They were a bit more younger than the others, so they couldn't play the way the kids were playing. So instead, they were playing with their baby toys as usual. With Super Fireworks and Mikasa looking after them. Eventually, Super Fireworks ended up getting a call from his father. Yeah, what's up, Dad? Hey, son, apparently we got some problems over here. So, could you come over here and sort things out? Oh boy, what's the problem? Apparently, Hanji needs your help. She's trying to have a meeting via the survey corps numbers, but apparently they still think that Aaron's son is still out there. Yes, unfortunately Eren Yeager actually had a son with Historia. Right behind everyone's backs. And after his father's death, Eren's son by the name of Eren Yeager Jr. took off running. And no one has found him ever since. Since that day. Alright, give me like 20 or 30 minutes. Take a little time you need, son. But if I were you, I'll come here a lot quicker, because it looks like they're about to arrest Hanji. Super Fireworks ended up getting his parody close almost instantly. He brought a few of them just in case. Alright, Mikasa, I'm off. Alright, make sure you come back safely. Don't worry, I'm just making a trip back to Parody. If you want, I'll just call Kansas 3 and the others so that way they can help you watch over the kids. I think I could use their help, actually. Because after all, it's not easy having 8 kids. Well, you're the one who chose to have 8 kids in the first place. There was an awkward silence between the two, but then they just after all of a sudden, their relationship was strange, but the two still loved each other. After saying goodbye to his kids, Sir Fireworks was off. About a couple of hours later, King Seth and others arrived to help Mikasa take care of her 8 children. But they were nowhere to be sight. Character 3, I got a bad feeling that instantly Max, Altier, Jr., Dylan, Sam, and Alexis jumped on top of them, acting like little piranhas. Oh god, get them off him! Mikasa face plant. I'm starting to understand what Man Female Godzilla meant by Baby Man Kaiju, by Baby Man Gorgiras act like freaking little piranhas. I'm basically a mother of 8 freaking piranhas. After getting the little ones off of them, they ended up playing nicely with their uncles. But still, they still sometimes act like little piranhas. One time, Unit 3 was just having a conversation with Super Final Wars. Then Super Final Wars' kids ended up eating half of Unit 3's tail. And they were grounded for like a month. But Super Final Wars makes it didn't get that hard, so they just grounded them for like a couple of days. Instantly, Max and Niels brought up some flowers to Kieran's 3. We're sorry about what happened, Uncle Kieran's 3. It's fine, but it's fine. Kids, just don't do that again. Plus, not everyone has my regenerative ability. So, try not to do that next time, okay? If you do, I'll give you some ice cream. Okay, you got a deal. Yeah, you got a deal. Mikasa comes out with a sigh of relief. Thank you, I need some help. And don't worry, Mikasa, after all, me, Zilla1000, Super Burning Godzilla Dark Dragon, Super Godzilla Earth, and Mecha Super Godzilla Earth, we're all here to help you. After all, things are not as easy since you're Queen of Mega Monsters and Queen of all Godzillas. You think, and I have to attend some meetings with Lady Ozma Bito herself. Why did I decide that I want 8 children? Hey, at least they're cute. I mean, come on. Look at these two. Super Godzilla Earth was holding both Derek and Emily, and Mikasa couldn't able to admit that her kids were cute, either as little 10-year-olds or as little infants, like her 2 youngest kids. Yeah, I will have to agree with you. They are pretty cute. Very cute. I just hope that some of them take the right path with their powers. Oh, come on. What makes you think they'll take the wrong path? I don't know, mainly because Super Mario has been acting weird lately. Probably because Eren Yeager Jr. is still out there and he wants revenge on Super Final Wars. True. Meanwhile, on an unknown island, Eren Yeager Jr. was patrolling his new home. He was still a kid, but he looked at the ocean. He growled, knowing that Sir Farmers is still out there. One of these days, I will avenge my father, and you will regret on exiling me from Parody. All of you. But for now, I gotta guard my new home. Meanwhile, at Parody, Historia ended up getting a weird feeling that she was being watched by something, or someone. Then she heard a weird voice in her head. Instantly, strange tendrils ended up coming out from her body. She was completely alone. At first, she thought it was venom. Then again, these tendrils were yellow. Then it formed into a familiar face. It was Lucas. Lucas? How are you? Hello, my dear. We have a lot to discuss. But first, let's go find my friend, David. How are you? It's a long story. But let me take over. And just like that, Lucas took control of of Historia's entire body. And she disappeared, leaving no trace behind.